Say, man, you're in a privileged position right now. You're in a place to be. Matter of fact, a place to G with the one and only S&OOP. So what you gonna do now? Turn that shit up and let it bang.
Everybody that you fight is not your enemy.
Trenches.
And everybody that helps you is not your friend.
Free time. Nico Trenches, we train
And
online
that's what life
line. Getting sacks on quarterbacks, you know we live. When you kick that 45, keep your nose on the inside. You better punch some, keep your feet moving, dog. My 3 tech and 1 tech, they some real hoes. My DN 6'5", he ain't got no flaws. Good grades, good feet, man, he got it all. I said a crazy he'll snatch something. Real aggressive jump, said he tryna grab something. If the old don't shoot their hands, you better jab some. You better stab some.
I'm here with the winner, Derek Lewis. Derek, why don't you take your pants off?
Pros, we get it in. If you ain't watching film, you ain't trying to win. If you close the beat gap, then you gotta spin. If you get around the edge, then you gotta bend. I'm in the trenches where the lineman at. I'm in the trenches where the lineman at. I'm in the trenches where the lineman at. Where the lineman at? Where the lineman at? D tackle, do your dance. D ends, do your dance. Center, do your dance. Guard, do your dance. Tackle, do your dance. I'm in the trenches where the lineman at. I'm in the trenches where the lineman at.
Fucking bet against me. Bet against me. Tell me it's not going to happen. Tell me it's going to fail. I love it. I love every minute of it.
Good evening, everybody. I'm your host, TKB. We're back. Episode 18, Bushleague Sports. I'm going to be joined by a special guest tonight. I'm sorry for everybody who tuned in for Trav and hates me. He couldn't be here tonight, but that's all good. We got a beauty who's going to be co-hosting with me. We're going to get into all kinds of things in the NFL, all kinds of upsets through round one. As you can tell, we got different lighting because I had to give my light to my bro upstairs. If you can't see me, just peek in real close, or I'll come in once in a while. I'll give you a light bulb. That's Bushleague Media. That's how we roll. Probably get into a little hockey, chat about everything that's going on in the world of sports, and just get into a good old-fashioned banter. But I want to bring my guest up. He's just a good friend of mine. He's literally upstairs in my house. I conned him into doing the show with me because Trav couldn't come. And I was like, here, you're my friend. I'm going to tuck you in another room, and you have to work now if you want to spend the night. But I'm stoked to be chatting with him, stoked to bring him up. John, how are you doing, my brother? What's going on this evening, baby?
Oh,
Crushing a cookie, attaboy. One of the big cookies from Big Stew Dog down at Cameron's. Obviously, you're in town here, selling a little clothes, doing a little bit of recon work at all the skate shops and clothing shops. And our pal Stu gave us a couple cookies there, but just crushing one. Great intro.
delicious cookies.
Can't even say hi. He's just crushing a cookie. But how you doing this evening, brother? What's going on upstairs?
I'm good, thanks. I'm just gonna have a wash down this delicious cookie with a sip of this tasty, refreshing local weather.
Attaboy.
Fruit punch is delicious.
My man is plugging right out the gate. You'd love to see it. Big shout out to Stu.
Man, that is good.
Stu gave me that nice Vaughn zipper case behind you too. Keep all my goodies. It's stashed up in there. So big shouts to Cameron's Clothing for hooking the boys up with a couple of cookies and a Vaughn zipper case. You'll love to see it. Head over to Stu's. You can get all the good Matt and Eat clothing buddy starts. This is a just pure sales plug out the gate here. Not usually how we roll, but look at us go. We're just, we're trying to get paid here. And so far we got 4 cookies. So if anybody wants to up it, we might take the deal. Who's to say? But what's going on? How you doing, brother? Obviously you're traveling across Western Canada and stuck with me for the night. What's going on?
Yeah, it's fucking cold out here, man.
Winter is here.
Yeah, being from Vancouver, I'm not used to this cold weather, and hitting minus 50 when I was in Grand Prairie last week, and happy to be in Kindersley and parking my truck inside for the night. Thank you so much for being host as always.
We cleared all the little kids' toys. She practices her biking and all that goodies. A little bit of maybe a little skateboarding. So we cleared out the way, made sure you can tuck her in nice and warm. But literally for anybody who watches either of my shows, John is literally in my other podcast studio. He's literally right above me. He came and he was going to like join us on the show tonight and get into it and have a little fun with hockey. And then, like I say, Trav, he couldn't make it tonight, and best wishes to him. He'll be back with us next week. But I just was like, I guess you're co-host now, John. So, what's it feel like to be in the spotlight there, buzzing, hanging out, living the dream? You're famous now, technically. There might be like 7 people checking us out right now.
Yeah, I feel like, my parents would be proud.
Right.
I feel like I've reached a new plateau in life. I'm just grateful for the opportunity to be here.
Right. Well, no, I thank you. Obviously, the show is going to be way more entertaining with you there, a little more beautiful. I can't even wear a hat today, so people are going to have to put up with just live fuzz. Because literally, we like scratched this together last minute. We got John like recording upstairs with his phone. So he's got my ring light. You can see it shining on his spectacles. And I'm here like trying to get extra light on my face with a freaking flash. Ooh, that's a good angle. I need someone. Do I just run that one for the day?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get extra light because you can't see my gosh damn face. I'm literally running, if you want to sponsor us, Prime Light, let's go. But this is Bush League Media. It's literally like as bad as it gets. So here we are. We're going to get into some NFL and have a good old banter. But yeah, it was miserable. Like the title of the episode, winner is here. You look at Miami having to go up to KC and play in the blistering cold. Like you could tell they were not loving it. The boys could barely hold on to the ball. I mean, it's minus 30. I don't want to be out there with no gloves on. That's winter, man. And like you said, we had minus 50 up here. KC is one of the colder places. Buffalo ended up canceling the game for a day. I was kind of sad that they cleared the stadium out as good as they did. I love a good old-fashioned Buffalo game, like full of snow. You get that nice foot of dump. I tune in the next day and I'm like, why'd you do it? It's all gone. At least leave it on the sidelines or something. So I was kind of bummed about that, if I'm going to be honest. But I took the Bills to go all the way to the Super Bowl. So if I have my way, we're getting 2 more games, hopefully, under the Bills at home. And maybe we'll still get one big snow dump this year. But it didn't really start snowing in the whole continent till about 2 weeks ago. So this is our first taste of some winter ball. But like you said, traveling through it, that's an adventure, eh?
It's been, quite the time. My truck battery froze last week and I had to get a tow and a new battery, and learned my lesson for future trips for sure.
Yeah, you definitely gotta be bringing the old extension cord and plugging that block heater in when you're rolling around the prairies. It's not as nice and cozy as you guys in the Vancouver Canucks there. We're freezing at the Saddle Dome and then Rogers down here. We're dying, and Saskatchewan's like just a barren, absolute freezer, as you can tell.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's brutal. I also have the luxury of having underground parking. So it's definitely roughing it out in Bush League style out here.
That's right. I like it. Good plug. Did you get a chance to watch any of the games on the weekend? You watch much of the wild card games?
Yeah, I was traveling, but I did get to catch the Tampa game towards the end of Sunday there. That was I was stoked because I'm not a Philly fan, so I'm not a Tampa fan either, but I wanted Tampa to win over Philly for sure.
I really see it. Like for me, I didn't really care. I'm like, maybe I'm just falling in love with the like Jason Kelce story where I'm like, Travis is getting all the love. Travis won the Super Bowl. I just want his brother to get like some of the glory too. So I was maybe hoping he would, they'd get a dub and go a little deeper. But way she goes, it was sad. That was the saddest part about it all for me, was watching Kelce like walk off the field, and he was kind of sad about it. And he was like nice and courteous to the fans, but I was like, I don't know why. I just like Jason Kelce. He's a beauty. I like him. He's a good guy.
I agree, man. And it's not enough that he doesn't show up at Christmas without the Super Bowl ring, but on top of that, his brother's flashing his new smoking hot girlfriend. So yeah, I feel for him, man. I feel for him. I'm like underachieving right now. I wish he would have went further. I do agree. That would have been better.
Yeah, no, it would have been awesome to see him. I know I would have loved to see him go almost all the way, but what do you do at the end of it? Like you said, Travis, he'll have all the glory. T Swift, she's carrying the league right now, right? And so she had like this fancy jacket, like designer jacket on. She rolls in with like custom made Kelce jacket, and I'm like, oh yeah, the NFL is going to do anything it can to help Mahomes and Taylor Swift get to the Super Bowl. That's my biggest worry, is like for them, they're probably like, I don't care what we got to call. Just call the penalty, get Mahomes and the boys there, because they already pull a bunch of trash. Like, and so I can only imagine what they're going to try to do to get Kelsey there.
I do agree with you there. I hope it doesn't become the T Swift show, but I wouldn't be surprised because those ad revenues, right? Fuck, they're probably going to want to go where the money is, unfortunately. But for me, I just hope the Niners. That's who I'm going for.
You got the Niners taking the bowl?
I would love to. My buddy, one of my best buds, Graham, is like a diehard Niners fan. I grew up with, Joe Montana, Rice, and Young, all those guys. So even Sanders when he was playing, I love the Niners. I hope that they take it all this time.
Nice. Well, yeah, that was my Super Bowl pick going into the year was Bills versus 49ers. So it's still on the plate. It's still possible. I don't know if you've heard much. I brought it up once. They got like the NFL Illuminati, right? That when they put out the Super Bowl logo the last 2 years, like Super Bowl, I think, whatever the last two numbers were, but the last two logos, when they release it, they put out that graphic, and it's kind of usually resemblant of the city it's being hosted in, right? And the last couple of years, it's been multicolor. And it's been the color of the teams that made it to the Super Bowl. Like it was orange and yellow the year it was the Rams and Bengals. And so it's like this little controversy going on now, right? And this year, the colors are the purple and red. It looks like Baltimore 49ers. So all the people are going around being like, the NFL's for sure scripted if it's Baltimore 49ers, because this would be like the third or fourth year in a row where the teams match the logo they released at the start of the season. So that'll be interesting because like they're literally playing their NFL scripted commercials and stuff, and they're going to be like, wait a minute, what's going on? Is it?
Yeah, I had no idea about that, but now that you've mentioned this, I love a good conspiracy. I guess I'm going to have to dig a bit deeper when we're done.
Yeah, dig into it. And obviously, for anybody just tuning in now, thank you for joining us. We're live, Facebook, YouTube, X. Tell a friend, bring them over. I'm joined by my pal, John. He's sitting in for Trav tonight. I'm taking the co-host spot while Trav is off for the evening. And we're just straight Bushleaguing it. He's got my ring light. I'm in the dark. We're flashlighting, but we're getting all the goods to you this evening. But obviously, I wouldn't even say that the Tampa Bay beating like the Eagles, it was an absolute Bushleague beatdown, but it wasn't the Bushleague beatdown of the week. We'll get into that in a little bit. But I mean, Tampa just ran amok on them. But it's crazy to see a team like the Eagles, who were like literally at one point, I thought they might have a perfect season. They were rolling so hard to start it. And then to see them like be on the road in the wild card game and ultimately lose to a team that is, I want to say the first, I guess maybe that was the Packers, but a couple of the first like 7th round seeds to upset one of the top teams kind of thing. Right. And so pretty interesting to see, just to see a Bucks dominate them in that fashion. Obviously they didn't have AJ Brown going into the game, but still just an absolutely stacked team. But Baker Mayfield, 5th number 1 overall pick to win a playoff game with 2 teams. So let's see where he rolls and see how he keeps going this season.
Yeah, man. What do you think is going to happen for the next game?
Well, the next game, we'll get into that in a little bit. I want to wrap up last week. Obviously, they'll be playing the Lions, and I think that'll be a tough battle for them when they play the Lions. But obviously, the other game on Monday was that postponed Bills and Steelers game. And for me, I'm a guy who, like I said, I took the Bills, so I had to ride them hard going into the weekend. I put a little bet on them to win, just like a $20 parlay on the Bills, and then I took the Red Wings to beat whoever they were playing. I want to say like the Leafs or something, and made made like $80 or something off a quick little hit. But the Bills game got canceled because of the cold. I was trying to make up my own conspiracy, being like, what do you mean? Like they won't make the Steelers come play in Buffalo in the cold? Clear advantage for the Bills. But Mahomes, they make Miami come up from the frickin' island and play in -30. I mean, it's starting already. They're trying to cash the free check. I was trying to start my own conspiracy on it. But no, the Bills, I was like crossing my fingers. If Trav was here, he's a big Steelers fan. He grew up around Pittsburgh, so that's his squad. So boo-hoo, buddy, they gone. But the Bills are buzzing, and it's going to be fun to see if they can get all the way, because if they do get all the way, me and Trav have a little gamble on the go that we're going to go to the Super Bowl if the two teams we pick, like if I pick the Bills and he picked the 49ers. So if it actually ends up happening, I guess the Bushleague Sports Show is going on the road, baby. I don't know if his wife
hell
is,
yeah.
but I'm going to go.
That's sick. That would be awesome. Definitely a bucket list to go to Super Bowl.
Who knows? I might not be able to afford it. It's in Vegas.
Maybe it's like the time where you want to go absolutely no matter what.
It'd be a party.
That place is going to go off, man. That's crazy.
First Super Bowl. First, I guess technically the Golden Knights, and we'll get into hockey later in the show too. Technically the Golden Knights are the first championship team in Vegas, which is pretty cool. But the NFL coming to Las Vegas was obviously just in general for America a bigger deal than the hockey team showing up, and now getting to host the first Super Bowl in like Party City. I think Vegas knows how to put on a show, and I think we're gonna get entertained. We'll see what Usher. I think he's the halftime show. We'll see what kind of wildness performance they can put on, but you'd think they'll be pulling out a few stops in Vegas.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, for sure. It's going to be massive. I think the question next is going to be like, who's going to be the next league to join Vegas?
Yeah, right. Like it's, be like a soccer league or something, who knows, right? But Josh Allen, 3 touchdowns, is carrying the squad. Mason Rudolph put up a good effort on the other team, but the Christmas miracle is come to an end. No more Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer running it all the way down. James Cook, another great did like a great play at running back, I think around 80 yards, something like that he had in the game. And just an all-around good performance by the squad. So nice to see the Bills fucking cruising. I was worried at the start of the year. What else? Rams Lions. That was a pretty good game too. I don't know if you got to catch that at all. That was the tightest game of the whole battle. 24-23 kind of came right down to the wire. But it was really interesting to see a lot going up to it. Like Eminem calling out Stafford, being like, dude, I literally rapped for you when you won the Super Bowl. Just give this one to us. Like, Detroit needs this. It was pretty funny to like watch him do that. And then he just kept calling Stafford out, being like, let Detroit win. Like, come on, man. We were always there for you when you were here. And when we were there for you when you left. The city needs this one. And it was pretty funny. So Eminem's like become a character of the game. I think he was talking about, he was like tweeting out on socials or putting out stuff on socials saying that he wanted to like tune in the third quarter to announce some of the game or something. And I'm sure like it's Eminem, so they probably will, right? Because he's only one of the most famous people on earth. So I'm interested to see that game, if he comes in and if he's announcing a little bit of the Bucks Lions game and trying to keep rallying with the team. But he's riding hard with his city, that's for sure.
Yeah, would you expect anything less from him though? And with their history?
No, not at all. I mean, it's awesome to see him like that supportive and that down for Detroit, right? But yeah, I guess the standout players in that game, Stafford had a good game, almost 400 yards, 2 tutties. Puka Nacua. I wish I had a better light so you could see how excited I was. I got to get the right angle on it. What a rookie sensation. Broke the rookie receiving yards record, receptions record. In the first playoff game, broke the rookie playoff game record for receiving yards. And it's like, man, he broke like literally every stat. And I was watching some stuff on their scouting, and they were thinking about taking him in the 6th round, and they were really talking about how bad they wanted the kid. And I think they ended up grabbing him in the 5th just to make sure they had him. And I mean, they were right. Whatever they seen, he's so good. It's hard to deny that guy. And it's, he's probably sad he's out 1st round, but he's a rookie. He's got lots of time left, but just an amazing standout season. I mean, Justin Jefferson-esque. The guy was just absolutely dominant. And then Jared Goff, maybe not the hugest performance, 277 yards, 1 touchdown. He played a good game, like 22 for 27, no interceptions. That's all you can ask. But the 2 running backs, kind of carrying the squad as always. Maybe Jamar Gibbs, not as much, only 25 yards, but still found the end zone. And David Montgomery, I mean, I got those 2 guys in fantasy, Jamar and Montgomery, and they're 2 guys that if you're in a dynasty league, I was thinking that it was going to be Jamar Gibbs who I wanted to carry for long term, and maybe Montgomery was only going to be worthwhile for a year or something. But man, if they stay as that duo next year, they're going to be ripping. Like, it's a strong duo in NFL. And then Amon St. Brown, 110 yards, no touchdowns, but as always on fire, getting literally about half the team's yards. Jamar Gibbs, too, I should say, did have 40, 50 yards receiving. So it's not like he didn't do anything. He also got close to 70 yards, but just an all-around performance and just enough to win it. 1 point. You watch any of the other games, or we're just talking Amos?
I didn't. I was not able to, man. I was working all weekend. Being on the road is not the greatest for catching a bunch of games.
I respect it. I respect it. Hotel living, chucking city to city. The first night's action too on Saturday, Texans Browns. CJ Stroud. I don't know if you watched much of him this year, but what a rookie sensation for the Texans. I drafted him in Dynasty. I probably say it every episode because I'm just like chubbed up about it. But he's so good. Kid dominated the league. Comes in. I was kind of like, so last week I called the Browns to win. As much as I'm happy the Texans won it and Stroud did, I kind of was thinking that like Joe Flacco coming back out of retirement and just being absolutely on fire. Like, I was hoping the Cinderella story was going to keep on keeping on. And so I was riding the Browns, but Joe Flacco, you've probably watched a few Flacco games and remember him winning the Super Bowl and all the goods. It's pretty cool it's cool to see him come off the couch and just dominate.
It was what an incredible end of the season for them. I was definitely rooting hard for Cleveland after that. But yeah, you're absolutely right. As far as Flacco goes, he came in right off the couch and dominated, and that was really exciting to see because it reminded me of back his Baltimore days. He's definitely still got it.
Yeah, and he had a bad night, 1 tutty, 2 interceptions. I mean, I guess I shouldn't say bad night. He's 34 for 46. The team just didn't work out for him, but only 1 touchdown. Kareem Hunt ran one into. Njoku was basically their entire offense. And then CJ Stroud, about the same yards as Goff, 274 instead of 277, I think, but 3 touchdowns and just, again, put on an absolute performance. Nico Collins is ripping. If they had Tank Dell still, who went down with that fibula injury, wow, would they just be utterly dominant. But really cool to see the Texans, who everybody thought would do nothing this year, not only be a playoff team, but win a freaking game. Wow. So good for them. I love to see a success story like that. And then the other game was Dolphins Chiefs. We already kind of touched on that. -34. The poor Miami Dolphins got to come up and play in that shenanigans, right? So the Chiefs are probably utterly prepared with heaters. They probably got the fucking Dolphins on the sideline, freezing their bag off, serving them ice. I mean, wow. Again, another kind of Cinderella season for the Dolphins that just come to an end, kind of like the Eagles. Couldn't break 10 points for a team that was dominant. For a team, you know what? That's what you get. You put 70 up on the Broncos. You deserve to lose round 1. Don't ever do that to my boys again. Don't ever disrespect them mid-season like that again. All right, Tyreek?
A soft spot?
Pardon?
Is that a soft spot?
I mean, yeah, they put 70 points. The Broncos got the biggest ass whooping of the whole season.
No reason for that, for sure.
No. Yeah, shout out to local weather. Like you say, there's just some tasty-ass drinks. Check them out. They're in Whole Foods all across America. But these are some yummy.
Delicious.
This is my favorite one, the mango passion fruit. I know you said you like that fruit punch one, but
yeah, the one that you had was good, but this one, I'm just a fruit punch guy. Plus, there's skater on there.
Yeah, it's my favorite logo. I almost want it to be my favorite just because it's got the skateboard logo. I don't really care about tennis that badly, but what do you do? Anyways.
Oh, Sharapova.
Pardon?
Sharapova.
That's fair.
Was that the one that was married to Bure or something, or Fedorov, or that smoking hot blonde tennis player?
Oh yeah, there was a hot tennis babe that was married to one of the NHL studs.
Unreal.
I forget who that was. I can't remember. That was in the 90s. I remember being a 14-year-old kid and being like, oh my God, she's gorgeous. Yeah, maybe a little what's up with the boys? But anyhow, we got to get back to foosball. And speaking of foosball, we got to get into an absolute licking. Packers, Cowboys. If I have ever seen a whooping, that to me is the Bushleague beatdown of the week.
boxing. Say, man, you know the best part of waking up is not giving a fuck? Now you do now. Drop this present. Big Snoop D-A-W-G, Therefore mixtape, and this is for you. Yeah.
Bushleague Beatdown! Brought to you by Bam Bam Boxing. Check out the workouts today. Right on. I mean, what an absolute whooping. And again, big shouts to Joel. Joel's live 5 days a week with his online workouts, always giving us a free little sponsorship every week. And we just big shouts to him. Make sure you guys check out what he's doing. One of the greatest trainers and professional boxers doing his thing. We'll be actually giving away a bunch of free online workouts through our fantasy sports leagues and different stuff. So please make sure to be checking that out, because literally you want to learn how to box. He'll teach you how to lay a beat down on some MFers. But man, the Cowboys, like, I mean, they were supposed to be like, come in, whoop some butt. They have not lost in 16 straight home. It's been 2 years since they've lost a home game, which is like a crazy statistic, right? And now they're coming into the playoffs like rolling, on fire, and they get just dusted. Like, it was, I felt for Jerry kind of like, it was sad. They were expected to do a lot better than that. And again, Trav, he lives in Dallas. I was down in a game in Dallas this year with Chris No Love, as you know, No Love Hippie. I went down and visited him, and we went to a game there a few weeks ago, and that was pretty fun. And so, like, I kind of had a little bit of, I guess, a soft spot in my heart, because I went down and watched them win a game. They dummied the Eagles, and I was kind of hoping they'd make a run at it, but not so much.
Yeah, that was a really disappointing game for sure. I don't think anyone was expecting that bad of a beatdown.
Yeah, no, I mean, and the score at the end is a little deceiving, right? 48-32. You're like, oh, it's not that bad, but even Dak admitted it's easy to put up a bunch of points at the end when the team's just playing prevent defense. Like, it was 42-16. All those points came at the end in kind of garbage time for the Cowboys. But so score-wise, you may be like, oh, well, they put up 32. No, if you watch the game, it was bad. It was not what you want to see coming out of a team. Dak, 3 tutties, 2. And again, the 2 interceptions suck, but 400 yards, 3 tutties, 41 completions. I mean, they had the guy rocketing the ball 60 times in a night. It'll be interesting to see what they do next year, right? Like, are they going to blow the team? Like, I think they got a great team. Maybe they switch up the coaching. Other than that, I hope they keep rolling with the core. I mean, Tony and Dak and CD they've all been impressive, and they were missing their best defensive player all year, which kind of sucks. Like, they still had Parsons, but without Travion Diggs. I was kind of sad we didn't get to see Diggs and his little son putting on a performance. They're usually like a big spectacle in the NFL, right? Him and his kid, they're pretty cute, but just didn't get to see much of that this season because, well, he was injured, right? And then Jordan Love. So I don't know. We got to get someone on who's smarter than me. But Jordan Love obviously gets the win. 272 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's the first, I think he's the first quarterback to have a perfect passer rating in the playoffs or something like that, I want to say. But, like, I don't understand the stat. The guy's 16 for 21. What's perfect about that? He missed 5 passes. What are we giving out? Participation trophies? What are they doing? How is it a perfect passer rate? I need someone in the comments, or if anybody knows what's going on, or if you just want to come up here and tell me why I'm an idiot because I don't know. How did that a perfect passer rating when he missed 5 passes? I mean, unless the only thing I can think of is if it's a clear, like, the guy should have caught it and he dropped it. Then maybe you blame the MFer. But I doubt that happened 5 times. I just don't get how they, like, yeah. I mean, you missed passes. You ain't perfect, bro. Talk to me.
No, exactly. 21 for 21 is perfect.
Yeah. And yeah. No, I mean, isn't that a logical statistic? I don't know.
100%.
Yeah. Okay. No, as long as we're on the same page. But anyways, big shout to him. He won a playoff game. I'm sitting here in my basement. Don't even have a proper light or fuck all. So who am I to speak? But
with the worst co-host ever.
No, you're rolling. You're buzzing. You're sitting in my, I didn't realize how horrible that chair looks in video. I just sit in that office and I've wore the arms off it. So I stuck like some random fabric on the arms. And now that I'm sitting here looking at you, I'm like, wow, that's a poverty case chair. And that is my chair. I might have to upgrade that MFR. There's literal duct tape on it.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's comfortable though.
It is kind of like under your ass. There's no leather left, but I just won't get rid of that seat. Like I'm just fully committed to the comfort of that chair. It's a massage chair. Like if you plugged it in, you could get her buzzing and give yourself a nice little massage. That's why I haven't given up on it yet, because it's
Is this chair jerk off chair / anal stimulator chair?
No, I don't do any of that weird shit you're into over in Vancouver. I don't know what kind of porn parties you're having, but no,
I
that's
want to be sitting in your jerk off.
no, that's for after I throw down, then I get the back massage going. But there's that's not my tug station. If that's what you're curious about. For the kids watching, you'll learn what we mean one day. But no, I mean, just a horrible end to the season for Dallas, and not the way I think they wanted to see it end. Is, you know, I thought they'd get at least one win. I mean, to them, it's Super Bowl or bust. So pretty sad to see that go down the way it did. But then we got, obviously, this weekend, all kinds of matchups. You got your number one seeds coming into the divisional round in the Ravens and the 49ers. And they're getting, in essence, like the two youngest quarterbacks, right? The Ravens are going to be playing the Texans, CJ Stroud against Lamar at home. Going to be interesting. I mean, you expect the Ravens to win, but we'll see. The Texans and CJ Stroud might just keep that glory going. And then the 49ers versus the Packers. The 49ers are like, they're running. But with the way it's been, like with seeing these top seed teams just fall early, are we going to see it again? What's your take? So
don't jinx us, man.
So
Don't.
you gotta take the picks. You're gonna take the picks for Trav this week because he's not here. So it's gonna be on you. But Ravens, Texans, who you got taking it?
I want the Ravens just for Baltimore, man.
Nope, that's fair. I think I'm gonna take Baltimore. The Illuminati's already foreshadowed it in the logo, and so it's gonna be hard to bet against them this weekend.
Yeah, and I mean, I told you earlier, the Niners are my other pick.
No,
So
that's
for
fair.
sure.
And I'm saying, I mean, it's going to be hard to cut. I didn't expect the Packers or the Texans to be here. So I'm not picking them because they did good, but I did not expect them to be here. Same as the Bucks. I mean, 3 of the 4 teams that are, there, or 5 or 6, I guess, moving on, I did not expect to be there. And this is like the first playoff round was my worst picks of the whole year. I've been like 6, 7, 800, like in my picking percentage. And I was like, I think like 2 for 6 on the weekend or something like that. So that was a tough one. If you guys were playing my bets, we call ourselves Bushleague Sports for a reason. You should know better.
I think most people were thinking the same way you were thinking, though, for their picks. So, yeah, I really don't think that you have to.
The 49ers are just so stacked. I mean, they got the best running back in the league, bar none. It's not even a debate. It is Christian McCaffrey. Brock Purdy has been proven that he's absolutely buzzing. And then the receiving core, like again, Debo, just like I got Jamar Gibbs and Montgomery on my fantasy squad. Shouts to the boys in the Dynasty League, $1,000. Champ. You love to see it. Actually, speaking of the Fantasy League, UMFers, look at this. We're going to have to upgrade this thing. I won this. I won one of these bad boys. This is from the Classic, though. This one I didn't win. So we got 2 keeper leagues. This one I didn't win this year. Brian, he's got 2 dubs on her. He's going to be coming back, getting a 3rd win. Brian, shouts to you for winning the Classic. We got to upgrade Nate's thing, too. You know Hot Dog? That's his win. I just haven't engraved it yet, but Hot Dog
won. Crazy.
Yeah, Hot Dog won the league. He won last year. He's a legend. But the Dynasty League, I won it. So pretty stoked about that. And for anybody who's playing along in our fantasy leagues, I think I had a little alien up there. I don't know where he went. But anybody who's playing along in our fantasy leagues, we're actually going to be making a digital version of that trophy and giving it to the 10 people who won in our Bushleague Sports fantasy leagues this year. And we're going to actually use that as a digital token. The 10 people who have that are going to be able to connect to play in a Champions League next year. And just, a little thing where something we want to do every year where the people that win our leagues kind of get putting into a Champions League. We're going to give them a bit more prizes and have a little more fun with it. But me and my bro are going to whip up a 3D version of one of them and get that out to some people. But let's go, baby! Dynasty League champ. Anyways, I just went on a complete tangent to say their receivers are Ayuk and Samuel, and they're really good.
Nice.
Yeah, that's really all I had to say. And then Bucks and Lions, baby. So again, Eminem, he'll be coming out of the woodworks. So I'll be tuning into that to see what kind of shenanigans he gets up to. Detroit Lions at home. Mom Spaghetti will be on the menu, I guarantee, baby. But it's going to be a battle. But I hope Detroit goes, man. Like, it's cool to see the run they're on this year. It's cool to see Goff ripping after the Rams got rid of him. And I really hope to see Detroit make it to the next round. Playoff, the final? No. I mean, I already told you who's going to be there. That's going to be the Bills and the good old-fashioned 49ers. But I would love to see the Lions get one more and get all the way to the conference. That'd be sweet.
Yeah, they can make it next year.
Yep, absolutely.
49ers.
Who you got in that? Who you got in Lions Bucks?
I'm going to go with the Lions, too. I agree. I would like to see them win this one. Detroit's been through a lot, so definitely going to go for them.
We're picking the same across the board. And then the Chiefs, they get to go from freezing up to Buffalo in the snow. It'll be a little warmer. I'm hoping it's a little bit of snow, but that's going to be it. That's your classic battle. Geez, I guess I host a sports show. I should know the freaking stat, but I mean, how many years in a row have the Bills and the Chiefs played in this game? It's 3, 4, 5 years now, right? And the Chiefs won every time. And so this time the Bills have got the home field, which they have had once or twice before, but can they do it, right? Like, this is what stopped them every time. And so this year, I'm hoping they can get over the hurdle. They can get by Mahomes and then get all the way there, because this is as far as they ever get. They run into Mahomes and he's their kryptonite, right? And so hopefully Josh Allen can just big dick his way right past Kermit and get her done.
Yeah, it would be really nice to see Allen make it to the next round.
Yep.
I'm definitely not a KC fan, so I definitely would love to see the Bills win. Unfortunately, due to the league, the money that they stand to lose by KC getting eliminated just from ad revenue, who knows, man?
Yeah, no, it's I guess if we truly think the Illuminati's behind it, they ain't gonna give them that win. But so obviously, afternoon game, Texans, Ravens. Evening game, Packers, 49ers, and then on Sunday, Lions and Bucks are in the afternoon, and evening game is Bills, Chiefs. So it's going to have a nice beauty Sunday nighter. I'm kind of looking forward to that. I know I'll be sitting down trying to take it all in and get my fill of football. There's only 3 weekends left. I guess we get the Pro Bowl if you want to count it, but probably not. And speaking of 3 weekends, we'll kind of roll into hockey a little bit, because my Lord, we're going to have to make a living at Bushleague Sports off of hockey soon, because there ain't going to be no football to talk about. She's going to be over, and we're going to be trying to dial in and help some people win some fantasy hockey championships, because that's something we're both pretty keen on. But Chiefs, Bills, who do you got?
Yeah, like I said, I want the Bills to win. Unfortunately, I think the Chiefs are probably going to take it.
Okay, well, that's good, because at least we pick one different. I'm going to take the Bills. They're going to get all the way. They're going to put on a show, and they're going to meet the 49ers. Couldn't spit it out in the final.
I hope you're right.
Now, again, for those just tuning in, my normal pal Trav, if you're popping in and you're like, I only like Trav, who are these two idiots? That's my buddy John. He's co-hosting with me tonight. Trav had to step away. We are full Bush League. I'm literally using a flashlight to light myself. And so, like, if you can't see my face, get over it. For all the ladies that tune in just to see my beauty, tough it out. I'll be a little prettier next week. But please tell a friend, X, Facebook, YouTube. We're live on all platforms, and then it'll be up on Spotify and Apple Podcasts soon. So please like, subscribe, tell a friend, and come hang out with us bozos all the time. But I think maybe we should get into a little bit of hockey. But before we get into hockey, obviously, the name of the episode's winners here. We chat a little bit about your journey and talked a little bit about the freezing cold games going on in the football season. But you even had a little adventure with the truck. You had to get her towed, I want to say, didn't you? When you're up in the prairie, froze her right to the moon. It's that cold, isn't it?
Yeah, -50. By the time I got to Grand Prairie, the Toyota dealership was closed, so I couldn't get the charging cable for the block heater. And Canadian Tire and Walmart were sold out. And GP doesn't have any underground parkings. So I was just stuck kind of like winging it. Stewie told me I should have just left my truck on all night, but I feel like I would have woken up to a truck that was gone.
Yeah, you never know. True. You never know.
It's GP, man.
At that temperature, though, you got to hope that them MFers are trying to, like, they're not even making it to your vehicle. Hopefully, they're hiding out somewhere else already. You would hope. Yeah. You never know.
Well, either way,
GP though.
Yeah, either way, it was not the greatest morning after that.
Night on. Well, that's fair. But yeah, no, it's been miserable here. I know, like, so literally on Friday, one of my guys was trying to get to work in the morning at like -50, and his car had electrical fire, man. So that was an endeavor. Luckily, someone was nearby and like picked him up right away. But I mean, his car literally burnt right to the ground on Friday. -52, and on the side of the road, car burnt right to the ground. So Derek, if you're watching, love you, appreciate you. Hopefully the insurance will pay you out big. But like, I felt bad, right? Like the guy -50, just again, like I said, glad someone was literally right behind him and picked him up instantly, because that's like a scary situation. -50, standing outside in the middle of Saskatchewan.
Oh, for sure.
And no shelter because your car's burnt to the ground, like not even out of the wind or anything. So yeah, that was pretty adventurous. So that's what goes on here. But I like, and did it start because it was that cold? I don't know, right? But like, just, you know, like we said, it's like, if nothing else, I guess, be happy that it happened then and not like even -20 with your daughter in the vehicle or something, right? At least it like happened just him and the family wasn't in the vehicle, which is one little bonus. But man, winter is here. It set in hard, baby.
Oh yeah. Yeah, those kinds of things are just bad luck, and it's a good thing that he was able to get picked up, but the weather has not been our friend as of late.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was a solid 4 days, -45 feels like 57. Like, it was, my American friends are like, how cold is that? I'm like, it's -72 Fahrenheit. Like, it was cold. It was literally -72 Fahrenheit. Like, if I think Trav asked me, he's like, how cold is that? I was like, I'll tell you, bud, she turns a 7-incher into a 2. That's how cold it is. And that's why I'm sticking to it.
That's like literally being outside for 5 seconds and you start getting icicles on the mustache.
Yeah, like even walking from my garage to my house, which is like, I mean, it's a 15-second walk, 20-second walk. And I was like, holy shit. Like, because I mean, I live in Canada. I'm used to the cold, right? But when you crack that like -45, 50, there's another level. It just eats you up in seconds. Like, you cannot fight it. Like, literally, like -40 is manageable. And soon as you break that, it is not safe at all for anything.
Yeah.
Super
yeah, it's fucked.
Like, Pat Alberta was like telling us about like the power grid is maxing out from so many heaters and shit. Like, you guys got to turn the heaters down, use minimal lights. And I'm like, yeah, we should for sure phase out fossil fuel and run off solar. We haven't seen the sun in 4 days. Great idea. What are we doing?
Yeah.
We would all be
that's
dead.
so fucking crazy.
A whole province would be dead. They'd be froze right to death. Ontario, and you guys would come out of your little underground parking looking for us. Where are you going? We'd all be froze to death. That's where we'd be.
Oh my god, dude, that was so funny. Honestly though, I do agree. I love burning dinosaurs for my truck. I'm not trying to plug anywhere. I don't think that we have enough cobalt for the whole planet anyways. Like, you can get me started on a fucking tangent here, but
we'll have to get you on the other podcast. We'll have to get you on my other show. Obviously, this one's a little more sports. We're kind of ripping off.
But yeah, like, I don't think,
we should do that one day. We'll get you on the campfire banters. We'll just go right conspiracy for like an hour straight. I think that would be a good one. It'd be fun.
That I can fucking talk.
We'll get out some rabbit holes. You'll be carrying the convo then, baby.
Perfect.
Right on, but I want to get into a little hockey because, like I said, I'm going to have to make a living off it. But there's been all kinds of action. We've touched base a little bit, and I'm going to get a little more into it as we go, kind of helping people soon as football wraps up, really teaching people how to lock in their fantasy lineups and get that going. And to anyone sees that little coin spin up in the top corner, that's going to be free access to our future project. So anybody who has one of those digital coins is going to get you access to our fantasy sports leagues, our fitness memberships, and all that stuff. So please check that out. And you can go over, scan the QR code up top, head over to bushleaguemedia.com, and you'll find all the information you need about our project, our shows, and everything we got going on. But the standings in the NHL this year, we take a peek over there. I don't know if you can see them or not on your side, but we got the Bruins dominating the Atlantic, right? Like the Canadians, you're so for anybody there, I'm probably gonna lip that shit out of the Canadians for no reason the next 10 minutes because John's a big Canadians fan, and obviously there's only one team that deserves to wear red and white, and it's the boys. It ain't you guys.
That's fine. We're not red and white anyways.
You got a little bit of
blue.
Got a little bit of blue balls because you ain't getting anywhere. But
not this year for sure.
No, but I think you guys got a good, talented young team, right? Like Suzuki is a good young player, right? And I don't know who else your favorite guys are running around.
Well, Cole Caulfie's been lighting it up, and Monahan also has been a great addition to the team. Unfortunately, I don't think he's going to be staying for super long. I think the Habs are probably going to try to move him before the trade deadline, which will be unfortunate to see him go. But we're in full rebuild mode right now, man. It's going to be a tough couple of years for us.
Yeah, and I mean, what do you think about the goaltending sitch since obviously Carey stepped away a few years ago? And that obviously a Canadian icon, like our Team Canada attendee and all that. I wonder how you feel about the guys that got mined in the twine these days.
Well, they're obviously a far cry from Carey and his performances that he put. But that being said, Montembeault's he's been doing good, especially for a goaltender that doesn't have a whole lot of experience in the NHL. Obviously, Allen's been, playing quite a few games too, and playing okay as well. I think the 2 goalie system is the way to go for us right now, especially since we used to put so much pressure on one guy, which I think probably burnt him out a little bit before his time. But yeah, our goalie situation in Montreal right now is good. Hopefully we'll be getting better with some of the guys that we have coming up. But yeah, it's like I said, man, it's going to be a tough couple of years ahead.
You see a lot more of that, like where they're like, like say Boston's a really good example with Swayman and Allmark, where they're splitting the load there and playing 50-50. But like, I don't know, man, like and I guess maybe I'm not the professional athlete, but as a person, like as a guy who played goalie, like I want to play 80-90% of the games. I feel like taking nights off, like the more I played, the sharper I got. The more nights I was in the twine, the more in tune I got with that puck and the way and in just the game zone and the game spirit, and you just get locked in. And I feel like if I was playing in the Chell and I had actually made my dreams come true, I'd be wanting to play 80-90% of the games. Like, and because like, say as a kid, even, you do a lot of splitting when you play in Adam and Pee Wee and hockey and stuff like that. But you start getting up to banter midget and a lot of those things. And a lot of times the starting goalie will play 70-80% of the games. And I know at the NHL level, they don't so much. And I mean, you got 2 high paid guys. They're all the best in the world. You want to play them. But I think there's something to being in that net every night. It makes you sharper.
Yeah, I think that's a good point that you bring up. And I think that there should definitely be a bit more studying being done for the 2 goalie system. But that being said, like we do know that the game has gotten a lot faster. It's gotten a lot more intense. These guys are, 82 games is a lot of games to play. Obviously, we're not talking about playing the whole 100%. But maybe it's about finding a bit better of a
less practice for the starting goalie and more game time.
Sorry?
Less practice, more game time.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's what it is for them. But at the same time, like maybe it is the games that is getting them the best performances, right? Maybe that's where they have to figure out, all right, well, this goalie will have to play, let's say 60% of the games or 65% of the games so we could get the optimal performance from him.
Yeah, just factor in infinite analytics. Like, I mean, they do a lot in the NFL with play calling and stuff and all that. And above your head there, a little Spotify signal. If anybody can head over there, like, subscribe. Oh yeah, John with the point of root. Hook it up. We're live on Spotify. We need some subscribers. So that we can maybe get paid one day. That'd be legendary. But no, I agree. It'd be cool to get the science. Sometimes I think the science is they're overdoing it at times. Like just play the game and get away from your stupid things like that. But whatever, I don't get to decide. There's a reason I'm Bush League in my basement and they're pros. So
What do you think about the whole offside controversy that's been happening lately?
like what, just the like millimeter over the line and shit like that stuff? I could care less. I mean, at the end of the day, you want the call to be right, but like, I don't know. It's tough, bit because you want to take the human error out of it, but you don't want to sit there and like nitpick the milliliters. But at the end of the day, I guess that's getting the call right. I don't know that it's. I think if there's like play goes, I don't know. I mean, they're getting the call right. It's hard to say that because you look at something like the MLB, where I've been saying forever, like, what's the point of an umpire? The only thing he can do is get the call wrong. You literally show me on the television exactly whether it was a strike or ball. Half the reason I'm watching baseball is just so I can see if the ump's a fucking idiot or not. Like, does he know what's going on? Because I can already tell you if it's a strike or a ball. You don't need to tell me. It's literally on the television. And so, like, it's one of those things where, like, I don't know, do they put lasers in the puck and the skates? Like, at this point, honestly, wouldn't that be better? Throw a tiny little couple fucking sensors in their skate in the puck. And if it's offside, it's offside.
Remember when they did the red laser?
Oh yeah. I remember that was like the 90s. Just like they did it like because so like it was a play on like Sega, right? Because remember the old games, how like the puck was kind of hard to see in the early video games, in some games, because it's just this little pixelated speck, right? And I think Sega Genesis, maybe like NHL 94 or some game like that was like one of the first games to incorporate like the red puck trail so that if you wanted to turn it on in game, you could see where the puck was going. And yeah, I remember they turned that on like in the live broadcast. I don't think it lasted more than like a season. They ran it, but it was neat for a year. But that definitely happened in like the 90s at some point. I can't remember exactly when, but that for sure happened.
Yeah, I was definitely not a fan of that.
No, what do you think about like the slime games for the NFL, like the cartoon or like have you ever seen like the Nickelodeon games where they have like SpongeBob announcing it and they like dump slime on the players in the end zone and the stream and stuff? No. Oh, you should check one of those out. They do it for like kids. And so they have like, they're like pretending slime's getting like if the players in the end zone, they'll run a graphic of like, well, he's cheering slime that's dumped on him and shit like that. It's just for the kids to try like, make them entertained in the game, and they have like funny little mascots and stuff that run around on the screen and shit. But yeah, it's just like the things, the gimmicks they come up with, right? Because like now they're talking like, oh, should the NHL do a in-season tournament like the NBA and shit? Like, no, it's stupid. What the hell are you doing an in-season tournament for? It's the dumbest thing ever. The only thing that the in-season tournament is going to do for us is like, I guess in the debate of like who's greater, LeBron or Jordan, like, I guess Jordan never won an in-season tournament. But other than that, what's the point of it?
Yeah, no, I stop changing the game, man.
That's what I think too. Like, same with hockey, like just play it. Like literally, like, can we punch each other in the head a little more? And can we go back to the right way of playing hockey? Like, come on.
Dude, I miss that old style hockey, man.
That's what it's all about. I mean, yeah, you got to police it for people, man, especially with all these talented players. You need that a little bit, but get back to those standings. How about the Red Wings? They're buzzing this year. I know Kane is a huge addition, man. I was just ripping on all my Blackhawks fans and being like, we got your boy. He is ours now, baby. Big Patty Kane. But he's on the IR right now. I think he's going to be out for a tiny bit, or maybe he's day-to-day, but he's injured. But the Wings are surprisingly good this year. It's a big move up for them, coming from like second last. I don't think they're going to go deep or anything this year, but a big step. And if they can have Kane and secure some pieces in the offseason and maybe like actually keep the core of like Larkin and Kane and DeBrincat for a year or two, I'd be really intrigued to see where the Wings can go, because I think it's pretty awesome to see my boys back again. And everybody's always like, oh, you're a Wings fan, you've had it so bad. I mean, I had 25 years the boys never missed the playoffs, right? Like, because I became a Wings fan like 96, 97, right? Like, and so I had a really good run where like there was quite a few years they were good before I was a big fan of them. And then like when I decided that was my team as a kid, like it was around when like Hasek was playing, right? I was a goalie and they had Hasek and Osgood. And I always tell the story of like those two goalies had the normal helmet. And that's what I had. Like I was one of the kids that my parents couldn't afford the goalie helmet. So I just wore my player helmet when I played goalie. Right. And so I like really like I felt like I could get to that level. Like, look at these guys, helmet as me, right? But it was just really, 25 years of just pure glory. And then I feel like the Red Wings had one of the worst situations ever coming out of it. Like in most teams, like let's say Jonathan Toews or Grant, anybody, when these players that have played for a team for 10, 15 years come to the end of their career, a lot of times they're going to get shipped out for a second or a third, and they're going to go play on a playoff team for a year and bounce around for a year or two, and then they're going to retire. And that's usually like it's almost like a nod to your organization. Like, I'm going off, I'm going to chase something while you're rebuilding, and I'm going to earn you another pick. Right. And Detroit just within one season lost their literally captain, assistant, right? Cronwall and Zetterberg both basically had to retire basically because of injuries, Zetterberg with his back and everything. So you got two guys that are a top 10 D-man and probably a top 10 player in the league who just had to retire. Like, no compensation. And then you got Datsuk, who was arguably the best player in the entire league, like top 3, no doubt, who, goes back to Russia, and they mutually agree on that. They lose their top 3 players without so much as one draft pick coming back. So to me, I literally was like, man, there's going to be a few dark years here, because most teams, when they pass on from 3 absolute studs like that, are literally immediately replenishing like 2, 3, 4, 5 big young names right into the lineup, or having them as trade chips. And Detroit kind of got eaten alive there. And maybe I'm just a homer that thinks that, but I do think that it was a situation that no other teams really had to endure coming out of the tail end of their superstars' careers. Maybe Jonathan Toews, like Blackhawks are going through it a little bit, right, with him. And, he's sick, and they're not going to be able to trade him and get picks on the tail end of his career. But that's one player. It's not like it happened to Kane, him, and Duncan Keith, right? And where they got nothing. Like, they got picks for Kane. They got a lot. They got, you know what I mean? So it's a little bit of a different story.
Yeah, I don't feel bad for Detroit, though. In my opinion, they're the last real legacy that the NHL has seen, and I don't feel bad. I had so many frustrating years from beatings at the hand of Detroit. So, yeah, sucks to be you.
Yeah, way she goes. But yeah, Bruins just ripping. Obviously, people thought they might see some regression. Bergeron retiring this year. Not at all. Absolutely buzzing. Pasternak and Marchand, the boys, just carrying the squad all the way. And I know my dad, he's a big Bruins fan, so he'll be jacked up over there. But just real awesome to see.
Yeah, hate Marchand. Wish we had him.
I know. He's that guy that, like, you wish he was on your team, and otherwise, what a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Nice.
What a good group they have, though, over there. Like, that's something to be envious. And that then picture that was going about them having breakfast last year all together, like, that's really what you want, like, your team to look like. Just all enjoy each other, great team environment, and yeah, it's something to be envious about for sure.
Yes, and then the Leafs, they're falling down the board. They've been blowing leads like a madman. Detroit came back and whooped them from a 2-0 lead. They came back and whooped them 4-2. They're going to have to pull her together. They started off with Matthews just having another hot season out the gate, looking like he was going to pace for 400 goals, and now they're just like, they can't get a win. But that division needs to see a little life. That would be good to see. And then the other one on that side, the Metropolitan, Rangers, Flyers, New York is just absolutely buzzing. I see, and that's a one where, like, if we had the good old-fashioned hockey, I mean, you get those two teams first, second, going down the stretch, you'd be seeing some line brawls. There'd be some battles, Philly, New York, or New York and the Islanders. Like, those are always some good old-fashioned, like, I want to see the Broad Street Bullies. I want to see the boys going. But and we just don't get to see that these days. But I loved that shit back in the day.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate that we're doing a bit too much playing hockey and not enough enforcing.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And then, yeah, Hurricanes, Capitals, all buzzing. Ovi slowed down big time this year. He's been getting a few goals here again lately, but he was on a big slump. And it might take him an extra year to get Chase Gretzky down. But he'll, as long as he's willing to play, 2 or 3 more years, he'll do it, but it's not going to happen in like a year and a half if at this rate, like it could have. He's gonna have to really perform next year, and then it'll probably be the year after that he could break it. I mean, if I was him, I would probably try to do it, but you will see how it goes. But it's just a lot of running there, and then the Penguins as well. Is I know my co-host Trav is Penguins are a little bit at heart, but he's more of a Dallas Stars fan, obviously. But they're sitting middle of the pack, and then Crosby's getting near the tail end of his career. I mean, they've had those guys together forever, right? Crosby, Malkin, Letang was gone for Biddy's back, and that core has been going for a while. But I mean, Crosby and Malkin and same as Ovechkin. I mean, they're getting on the tail end. It's this retirement coming soon for the boys, I think.
Do you think guys like Crosby and Malkin are going to stay in Pittsburgh until they finish playing, or are they going to go elsewhere?
I think the same thing. I think there's going to come a point where they're not putting up the numbers, right? The Pittsburgh's going to fall out of the playoffs. I want to, in most instances, they end up moving at some point. Like, I think he'll come back and they'll retire Penguins and blah, blah, blah. Who knows? Like, it would be cool. Ovi, I don't think is going anywhere. I have this feeling. I just have a feeling that Ovi's just not. He's just going to stay. But who knows? Like, you never know, right? All it takes is we're on the tail end. You're on the tail end of your career. We're not in the playoffs. Hey, we're going to give you a bunch of money to come on a playoff run with us. And that's where the team gets that second or third or fourth round pick. It's almost just always happens. And so obviously they'll all retire as the team they're playing for at some point. Some way they'll sign a day contract and come back and retire. I don't know. I guess we'll see if my theory is correct, because if all these other teams retire and just straight up retire, well, then I guess nobody should be as empathetic about me as the Detroit situation. But if all these MFers trade away for picks, and I'm 100% right, and Detroit had it bad. Yeah, well, and I think too, we're going to wrap up pretty soon here. We got the other side of the standings we got in the Western Conference. We'll skim through it, and I'll get into it a little deeper next week probably. But the Jets, Avs are ripping. If Trav was here, he would be probably chubbed up to see the Stars sit near the top of the division as well. They've been playing okay. I don't know how, because Ben and Jamie, that's the same guy, and Tyler Seguin have been really like fading the last few years. I keep drafting him in my fantasy team, hoping for glory. I got like this spark out of Seguin last year that made me excited, but they're two guys too that are on that same, probably getting near retiring around that same draft class. And are they going to go out for a couple picks one year, or are they going to retire all the way in Dallas? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. And then Blackhawks in dead last, and down in that division, Canucks, Golden Knights, a bunch of other teams looking there. I don't have it up on the screen, so for anyone following along, that's what we're talking about. Jets, Avs, and Stars leading the Central Division. And the Canucks and the Golden Knights, baby. They're and that'll be a thing. Like, if I'm going down to the Super Bowl, then maybe I'll finally get to go down to AT&T and check out the Golden Knights Stadium and stuff, because that's still on my list. I still haven't been to the Golden Knights Stadium. But who knows? Maybe it'll be the Bills and the 49ers, and we'll end up in Vegas, and I'll be checking out a Golden Knights game. But it's cool to see them and the Kings kind of up near the top, right? The Kings have been playing surprisingly decent, and the Oilers have had a big bounce back after that slow, like everybody crying about it start for our boy McD and Leon Draisaitl.
Yeah, and what a season for Vancouver too.
Yeah, they're absolutely they're doing okay, right? Like, first in the division, absolutely rolling. Thatcher Demko, what a young stud. Like, do you ever go to any games when you're on Vancouver at all, or anything?
No, I'm a diehard Montreal fan. I go when Montreal is playing, or somebody gives me tickets. But like, I'm happy for the city. The diehard Canucks fans are stoked. I'm happy for them. I used to be a big Bury fan when I was a kid, so I'm not hating on them.
That's fair. If you're lucky, you guys will go on a big run and get another ride again. That'll bring a little adventure to the city.
Fuck no. I hope they stay far away from the city this time.
Right on. Well, no, I want to give you a big thank you for joining me this week too, and anybody who's just been kind of hanging out with us. I appreciate you guys all tuning in. It's been a fun little show with my pal here, getting to banter a little bit about sports. obviously Trav will be back next week, and there's his little shredding sassy character. If you guys know, we're always kind of all about different fantasy sports and stuff. And so over at Shredding Sassy, they're going to be launching a little kind of tournament for anybody who holds a Shredding Sassy token, just to play along, win some prizes for the Free Ride World Tour snowboard events. There'll be a bunch of different events all across the world. So you'll be able to go in, join the Shredding Sassy Discord right now. We're going to launch a more kind of interface, something a little more user-friendly next year through the Bushleague media site. But this year you can hop in the Shredding Sassy Discord and you can play along every week, pick who you think's going to win, like men's snowboard, women's snowboard, men's ski, blah, blah, blah. And you'll get points every week if you pick the winner of the event. And at the end of it, there's going to be some winners and you're going to get a bunch of prizes, digital memberships. Obviously, Shredding Sassy, Bob Burnquist is working with them. They just got a new deck sponsor and they got all kinds of stuff on the go. So pretty cool project and excited to be doing that. Obviously, Trav would have been telling us all about what was going on, but we'll get into it next week because the Free Ride World Tour, I think, kicks off. I want to say next Thursday when we're live on the show, it'll be kicking off. Geez, I wish I knew the first stop. I should know, but somewhere over in Europe there will be kicking off. So we'll be covering that next week and getting into all kinds of things snow. But I want to thank you. We put in a solid good hour. We made her. We I don't know if we taught anybody anything or we're even remotely entertaining in any way, but we're here and we put her in. So thank you for doing it with me because people.
Thanks for having me. It was a good time, man. Definitely had a good time. If I taught anybody anything, it was I have a terrible knowledge in sports and enjoy the fights of hockey.
We got a little bit of good Canadians banter out of you. You know, you were throwing in some old school names for the 49ers. I was like, okay, we gotta hope here. We'll clip that later. We'll make this guy sound smart.
My only hope.
Oh, I see. And you're looking pretty with the ring light. I'm just kind of fading in and out of light here today. I had to take the local weather hat off. I'm sorry, guys, but it was your logo or my face, and this is beautiful. So sometimes you gotta let it go. But we'll have a better light next week. We won't be on the frickin' flashlight like we are this week. It'll just be me back live with the ring light. But no, I really appreciate you. I can't wait to see where everything goes with the NFL this weekend. It's gonna be fun to sit down, watch those games. Ideally, like I say, we're going to have hopefully the Ravens, 49ers, Lions, and if we get our way, the Buffalo Bills moving on into the conference finals next week. And then, like I said, if you guys are fantasy sports, if you ever have any like hockey lineup questions or anything, hop in my Discord or hit me up on Twitter. I'll gladly help you out with those lineups. And in the next week or two, really going to ramp up my fantasy hockey stuff and kind of start teaching you guys how to get extra man games, dominate. There's a reason that I've won our freaking fantasy keeper league like 4 out of the 8 years we've done it. It's because I absolutely know how to dust the boys with man games. So we'll start teaching you all the goodies and help a few people win their fantasy playoff leagues. But everybody who's tuned in today, I appreciate you. I see we got one comment. Who is that? My boy, Jonathan. Golden Knights games are solid. No, I would love to get to one for sure. It's just kind of on the bucket list. They seem like there's a big party going on there. And thanks as always, JT, for tuning in. He won a case of actual local weather. I'll be shipping it out to him through our fantasy sports leagues along with a few other people. So again, big shouts to all my pals that tune in, hang out, and help support the Bush League. I really appreciate you. We'll be back next week with a hat, better filming equipment in the basement, a real co-host, but I love the hell out of you. You were an amazing stand-in. I couldn't have done it without you. And as always, man, just fun to do it. And thank you for being there. I guess soon as you log out, I'll come upstairs. I guess we'll go like have a hoot and have a beer. What are we doing?
Talk about Sean Strickland on Saturday.
Oh yeah, no, fire it up. We don't got to wrap the show. That's a good one. UFC. What are you?
That's pretty much all I wanted to say. I was so impressed by how he fought against Izzy. It was like, honestly, man, like, you gotta love the guy. I think Duplessis got a really good chin. He surprised a lot of people in his fights, but Strickland is just a different kind of beast, man. I've been watching UFC for a long time, not claiming to be an expert in any way, but Strickland just seems like a man possessed, like the true definition of a man possessed.
He's straight just he's your average just like redneck country scrap boy. Did you see him beaking that Canadian reporter the other day? Like he's calling. Did you see that clip?
No.
Oh, you gotta look it up, man. This guy's talking. He's like, "Are you Canadian?" Yeah, and then he's asking him like, "Did you vote for Trudeau?" And this guy wouldn't tell him. So then he's like beaking the hell out of him. And I'm one who I don't care, like vote for whoever, but it's just funny because people know what I think about the prime minister here, how much of a kook he's being. So it's pretty cool to see Strickland just calling guys out and calling them pussies for supporting him. I was like, I like this guy.
That's hilarious.
Fuck the guy leading our country. He's a prick. And anybody who will tell reporters that live on a main stage, you're my best buddy. But no, he's just like, he's a weapon and just a full. He does that. I seen a lot of clips of him on the show with that Nina chick that she's like one of the guests. Like she's always one of the girls doing stuff at UFC and she's like one of the main people on fight night and stuff. She's a girl always interviewing the guys after the fight and stuff. And she's pretty hot if you're watching What's Up. But no, like that's hilarious, man. He just says whatever the fuck. And it's like, there's some pretty funny clips that come out of that show.
Yeah, he's had such like a troubled past as a kid that you wouldn't wish on anybody, and I think that really turned him into somebody that's like just fucking he's gonna decimate, like not to say that he's had it as hard as some guys like Chimaev has had it or Habib too, but like the guy is literally built from pressure. He's like a product of like as broken of a home as you can get. And he's literally it feels like he's fighting for his life every time he steps into the ring. And like it's going to be hard to beat him on Saturday, I think.
I know that'd be a good one this Saturday for sure. And I mean, thank you. You know what? I take it back. He ain't a dusty co-host where I'm playing UFC in the intro and I'm not even talking about it. So thank you for saving me and carrying us here. Maybe we'll get him on the show now one day because I had no hope before we didn't even bring it up. So thanks. Appreciate it.
Fuck yeah. Tyson is still the best GOAT for sure.
Right, baby. Well, no, I appreciate you, John. Thank you for doing this with me this week. I guess let's have a good old powwow upstairs. Allegedly, there might be a beer and a marijuana. If it's illegal where you are, then never mind what we're up to. But let's go, baby. Thank you for doing this. I appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you too. Appreciate everybody that tuned in. Sorry it wasn't Trav.
You got to come on the other show one day too. We're going to go down a conspiracy rabbit hole.
100%. Then you got me for hours.
Nice. I love it. Well, bro, I thank you. Appreciate you. And we'll catch you in like 48 seconds.
Peace, everybody.
As for everybody else, thank you for tuning in. Another episode 18, Bushleague Sports. It's hard to think we've been doing this for dang near 5 months live every Thursday night. I think me and Trav are going to be switching times here in the near future. So stay tuned to that. I think we're going to start trying to come live a little earlier on Thursdays. It's just not working out sometimes in the evening for us. And then being that like there's no Thursday night football, there's not really something for us to carry that night. So I think we're going to be switching that up pretty soon. But thank you. If you're checking this out, if you've seen any of the QR codes or whatever up in the corner, check them out. Go over to Bushleague Media. Get yourself all the info you need on our digital memberships. We'll be releasing soon. Access to all kinds of fantasy leagues, free fitness, all kinds of different cool stuff. And again, we'll be working really hard to get Joel's fitness site up and running soon. But I'm really excited to see where the NFL playoffs go this week. We'll get into all kinds of NHL action hard in the next few weeks. And again, kind of go over how Strickland does on Saturday and that, and we'll check that all out next week. So really looking forward to that. I think also one thing I'm going to do too, you can find it on our website or anywhere on socials, but I'm going to start laying a link, I think, so that like other people who are watching the show, who are, tuning in Twitter, YouTube, people who are dropping comments and want to kind of vibe out. I'm going to start leaving a link sometimes on Thursdays in my Discord so that people can come in and just kind of hang out. If they want, hop in the show. So just like I bring John up and talk, I'm going to leave the option for a few guests to like randomly come up. If you got a good take, you can hit me up in the Discord. Let me know what you want to babble at me about, and we can line it up so that you can come hang out on the show, say hi to the boys for a few minutes, and give us a good old Bushleague take your own. But until next time, thank you guys for coming. Make sure you subscribe, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Pods, tell everybody else on Instagram, X, and Facebook. I think I did that with almost fucking enough. So tell a friend, check out that little barcode in the corner, and until next time, stay bushy. Appreciate it.
And I don't really want you to stop.